welcome to the studio of Just Minding My Business Media LLC. We hope you have had a day of fulfillment as you move forward with your good intentions and goals. 10x your business starting today with digital marketing from Just Minding My Business Media LLC on JMMB Media TV or Mindset Movers TV. Contact us at jmmbradio@gmail.com. Words are free. It's how you use them that may cost you. From Kush and Wisdom. Today we welcome Eric Seropyan, who is the founder and owner of This Is My South Bay, a Los Angeles-based digital marketing agency with a specialty in search engine optimization and lead generation. He also teaches at a Search Engine Optimization Academy in Los Angeles. Today, he is here to clarify our understanding of search engine optimization and why, in this economic climate, it is critical for the success of small businesses. Welcome, Eric.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Welcome. And I always like to start from the beginning. How did you get into this?
Well, back in the day, I'm a jewelry designer by trade. And so I owned a business with my brother that he still has, that he's carried on. We have had a manufacturing jewelry business in downtown LA in the jewelry district. And so when the Great Recession hit, we started to feel it around 2006, 2007. The jewelry stores were going out of business, and we had to make a choice as to what to do. And so while working full time, I started to educate myself on this thing called digital marketing, and primarily on search engine optimization. And so I took to it. We did very well. And then at some point I was telling my brother, I think I can monetize this. I can do some consulting on the side while I still have, this business and so on. But it turned out that I really took to it. I really enjoyed it. I've become very good at it, and it's been years that this has been my passion now. And so that's how I landed in the search engine optimization field.
Wow, it's funny how the road turns.
Yes, exactly. going from diamond setting going from goldsmithing to doing search engine optimization.
Wow.
Quite a jump.
Wow, what a night and day move. But that's how it happens many times for many people.
Exactly.
Just so our audience is very clear, what is SEO?
So SEO stands for search engine optimization. So basically what it is when a user types in, if you go to google.com and then you type in what you're looking for, generally what you have is you have the top of the page that is for advertisers and generally the bottom of the page. And you'll see it'll say ads. So those are, as a user, you know that companies paid to be at that position. And then after that, you have the bulk of the page that is what Google considers to be a really good match between that website and what it feels the searcher is looking for. And so that is what we optimize so that clients can land on those top pages.
Okay. And why is it important?
It's important because when you start getting that free traffic coming in from Google, it's a game changer. It changes your business, it changes your projections, everything. So there's going to be a lot of traffic coming in from Google for the keyword that you're looking for. And the trick is that you don't want just endless traffic. What we want that clean traffic coming in that's exactly along the lines of what you're looking for. So I'll use the jewelry example. Let's say there would be a lot of clients that would want to rank for the keyword jewelry, which is very difficult to be on the first page, to be on the top 10. it's almost a waste of effort given that there's so many, powerhouses in the industry. But if, let's say, for example, you go after the keyword men's platinum comfort fit wedding band, there might be 100 or 200 searches a month for that keyword, but you're going to rank for it if you do some of the things that you need to target that keyword. So you can really go after that niche traffic so that you're not worried about getting 1 million visitors a day or a month or a year to your website. You're wanting to get that really clean traffic that is what your website offers.
Mm-hmm. So in other words, you need to be kind of specific. Your keywords need to kind of match what you offer. Exactly.
The jeweler example, it could be watches, it could be jewelry repair, it could be wedding rings, engagement rings, opal, sapphire, color stuff. It just there's 100 things that it could be when you say jewelry. But if you bring it down to something, exactly what it is that you're offering, then you have a better chance to get that traffic and to get it to convert.
Okay, so then you need to know your industry first. Then you need to know what your niche is. And then if you have a micro niche, you need to know what that is in order to be able to choose the correct words.
Absolutely. So there are many tools out there. And when I consult clients, I have all of these tools that it's a monthly subscription that you sign up for. It adds up. I use probably about 15 tools. On the low end, it's $50 a month. On the high end, it's almost $200 a month. So you subscribe, and then you get to be able to see certain things. So generally, what I do is when I'm looking for a niche, because you can have, even real estate agents. Back in the day, my mom was a real estate agent. There are real estate agents that specialize in commercial real estate versus rentals versus single-family homes and things like that. So we generally what we want to do is we want to find that direct competitor in town. If it's a local business, if it's a restaurant, or in this case, a real estate agent or what have you, I feel like everybody, when they're competing, they have their eye on that competitor down the street, that if they could just do what they're doing, their business is going to be, all right. And so we target the competitors, and with the tools that we have, we can see, because everything is out and open and on the internet. You just have to be able to know how to read it. We can see the competitor, which keywords they're ranked for on Google, how they got ranked for it, those keywords, how much volume is there, how much competition is there, all kinds of metrics that we can look at. And then we present it to the client, have the client say, okay, these keywords work for me, these I'm not so crazy about. And, we come up with a strategy to see, because we want to start off, it's difficult to optimize 1,000 keywords in a month. So you want to pick the ones that are, lower competition, higher search volume, so you can start to get ranked if it's a new business. If it's a business that's running and they have some kind of SEO campaign, then obviously we can lean into it and go faster.
Okay. Wow. And it's one of those things that, a lot of business owners don't have the time. They really don't know how to read the metrics. So why is it important for people that build websites? They need to always have that piece in. And I do know a lot of the website hosters, GoDaddy, all of those, they have like a tool that you can set up some. But I know for myself, I set some up, and then after that, I'm busy. I don't have time to keep up with it. So hiring somebody like you does what for a business owner?
Well, the thing is, a lot of times people will build websites, or they'll have it built out for them. And then after that, they have the SEO plugins and they have everything. And then they figure their SEO journey is done. And that's generally not how you're going to get ranked these days. And so to kind of take a step back, Google, what happens is with Google is there's almost like this transaction happening without currency being exchanged. So, for example, there's this function on the back end of the website that's called no index that says, "Don't Google, you can't go in there and index my site on your search engine. I don't want it. Don't put me on your search engine." So if everybody did that, then Google would be out of business, because Google needs to, they need websites to put on their search engine. And so what's happening is we're giving Google our content. In exchange, we're hoping that they're going to rank us for that, for the keywords that they think is a good match with the user and the website. So we're doing blog posts, we're doing video, kind of like this content that you have that we're doing right now with this video. This would index very well with Google. Reviews, link building, there's a whole bunch of things that we need to do to be able to get ranked. So there is this synergy, or this relationship between Google and the website owner, where they kind of need each other. Obviously, we need Google more than Google needs us, but they need content that people are consuming. The big difference between Google and search engines that came before Google is that Google is very user-centric. It always is thinking about the user's experience first. The user experience, is number one. And the search engines that came before Google, they were thinking about the advertisers. So you could go and bid, or you could optimize, and you're selling electronics, but you could still get traffic for socks, or you could get traffic for cars or whatever. And when they came to your site, hopefully they would see that you have nice electronics and purchase it, even though they were looking for a T-shirt. That was their thinking. And so that is not a good user experience. So everything starts and ends with that thinking, is that Google, it wants to provide the best possible user experience, and advertisers will follow.
And that's true. And that's important,
Yeah.
because if I'm looking for electronics and I could jump on a site with socks,
Yeah,
I'm gonna be pretty pissed off.
exactly. Or you have those
Annoyed,
pop-ups.
yeah.
Yeah, so wow.
Or
So,
you have those pop-ups coming up,
oh yeah.
and things like that. Or you have a bad experience with the vendor. You can't blame Google for that, but Google is reading your reviews. On Google reviews, Facebook reviews, on Yelp, it's reading your reviews, and that's one of the metrics that it's deciding whether it wants to rank you or not. So organically, if you, that's why a lot of times when I look at, or when we look at a search result and we see the paid ads and then we see the organic, generally I feel more comfortable with the organic, because Google is kind of vouching for that. Google is saying, okay, I feel comfortable with this website. Go check them out. I'm not responsible for the relationship. Don't come back to me if you have a problem. But I've done some homework on it, and this keyword and this website are a good match. Take it from there.
Okay. And I never really looked at it that way. And but that makes sense, because Google is one of the top search engines in the world. I mean, there's a lot, Bing and Yahoo, but Google is, I love Google. I do everything Google.
Everybody Googles. In fact, Google is part of our language now.
Exactly.
You don't hear Yahoo or Bing as part of the language, but Google, go Google it. Go Google that, whatever it is you're looking for.
Yes.
Google.
Or did you Google it?
Yeah.
It's been in our dictionary for years now. It's been a word. So, and I'll say an extension of what I was explaining, how particular Google is. Google has the organic part of it, and it has the Google Ads apparatus. Mm-hmm. So you can, set up your campaigns, and you can run Google Ads so that if someone is looking for a particular keyword, and they're, if it's a local business, let's say it's a pizza shop in a particular town, and you can go and you can buy Google Ads, and if someone's looking for that kind of pizza, you'll pay for the click, and so on. With Google, what they do is, if they feel like the keyword is not a good match with the website, they will not even accept your money. They won't show your ads. So if you're again, going back to the example, if it's a pizza shop and you're trying to get people that are just hungry and you do some ads for hamburgers, thinking that if they come to your site and they see pizzas, how beautiful your pizza is or how cheap it is, or free delivery, whatever the case may be, that's just going to upset Google. It's not even going to take your money. It's not even going to show the ads. So Google is looking for really a good user experience. That's why people are not going anywhere, because they go to the website. If you're, I haven't had it happen in a long time, but in the beginning, you would go and you would search for a tire shop in Los Angeles, and you'd have a tire shop come up in Kansas City. Now, as time has gone on, that doesn't really happen anymore. They're able to triangulate your location. They're able to figure out where that website is from, where they're located, if they have multiple locations, where those locations are, so on and so forth. So the keyword, and if it's a local business, geo-targeting is very powerful with Google and very important to Google.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm not the techie person here. That's Ida.
All right.
So Google, in order to rank on Google, you have to get your SEO correct. Your SEO has to be something that Google is going to look at. And when they look at it, it absolutely must relate to what your product is. Okay.
Correct.
So
So to elaborate on that, so you can take it in layers. The first layer is that you have a website built out, and then you want to make sure that Google is able to read it. So Google has literally 0.1001 second or so that goes into your website, spiders it, and leaves. And so in that time, Google is trying to figure out certain things to make sure that it's going to rank you and which keyword is going to rank you. So we want to make sure that the website is functioning at a level that Google would want to present you up to its users on its search engine. So you want to make sure that the pages are tagged correctly. So first of all, that Google can read it. A lot of times you can just hover over the link on your website and make sure, like, let's say you hover over your contact us link and it says something else, or it doesn't say anything. So you want to make sure that Google can read all those links. The mistake that a lot of e-commerce sites make is when they're selling a product is they have their website.com /XYZ214B. Like, they have the stock number of the product. Google doesn't know what it is. Right. So if you had the website.com /jacket /yellow, whatever, denim or whatever, Google will know what that product is. So we want to be as specific. Google is very smart and very dumb at the same time. So we want to be able to make sure that it's able to read every page, every inventory page, every content page, and so on.
Okay, I'm learning a lot. Now, you mentioned, I know these are terms in the industry, but you mentioned spider. So for clarity for our audience, what are spiders?
So it's just a word that basically, when Google comes into your back end of your website, and usually the developer leaves that open so that Google can come in anytime they want and see how your website is doing, any new pages, anything that would be relevant that Google would want to optimize or to put on their search engine. And so there's nothing really happening for us. It's just on the back end of it. You don't even notice it's happening.
Right. Okay. So they just crawling the website, so to speak, looking for stuff that they can rank.
Yeah, it's kind of like you leave the door open to the house. Somebody comes in, looks, see, oh, you're cooking dinner, or your TV's there, or whatever. It's kind of seeing the lay of the land, what's going on, how you're doing, and then moves to the next website.
Okay, and that's done all day long, 365 days a year.
Yes.
They're crawling websites.
They're doing it multiple times. There's a setting that everybody should watch out for. You can tell Google how often to come to your website to crawl it or to spider it. Both terms work. So sometimes what happens is web designers, they say, okay, Google, come every day to spider the site. So they come day one, and there's no new content. Day 2, day 3, day 10, there's nothing new to spider. Google gets upset, and so you take a hit. So you have to make sure that you're not, if you're creating, let's say, a blog article once a week, don't have Google come in every day when you don't need to. Have them come in once a week and check it out. You can even set it up for once a month, because generally what happens is every time that you create a new article or a new piece of content, it pings Google. So you're gonna tap Google on the shoulder and say, hey, I have a new blog article, or I have a new video, or I have a new whatever. It's gonna come anyway. But you want to make sure that we don't use Google's energy when there's nothing there, because it's spidering tons of websites out there.
Okay, and then if they constantly come to your site and you have no new content, will they stop coming?
Well, they'll stop ranking.
Oh,
your rank. The whole thing is, there's a relationship there, and so you've invited them to come to your house and have dinner, and for 3 straight nights or for 6 straight months, there's no dinner, and so at some point they're gonna go elsewhere where there's new content that they can put on their search engine, because we're always looking for new. The thing that people get stuck on is they think, okay, my webmaster, my web designer, my IT person, what have you, built out the site, it's optimized, it's ready to go, I'm done with it. And that is not the case. You're fighting for that real estate. You're fighting for that to be ranked on that search result. And so it's a constant fight, or dance or play or whatever you want to call it. I don't want to make it sound like war or fighting, but it's something that you have to do to make sure that Google understands what you do and what you're good at, and so that you can get that traffic coming in from Google. And it's not something that you just do and that's it. And if you optimize and you're number one for all the keywords that you would love to rank number one for, and you say, okay, I'm done, the person behind you is still fighting, is still working to get to that number one. So you will be pulled down at some point. It could be a week, it could be a year, whatever the case may be. But at some point, they're going to have more reviews, they're going to have more links, they're going to have more content, they're going to have more recent content. If you have a blog article on, Easter that just passed, and you don't have anything for the next 6 months, and the person behind you has for Easter and then has for Memorial Weekend and 4th of July, and they're going to pass you. So you have to, once you make your space there, it's difficult to be pulled down if you continue just doing your thing. But you can never turn off the engine. You have to you have to work at it, and most businesses are creating that content anyway. Like they're taking a Facebook post and putting it on Facebook. You can take that content and write a short article around it and put it on your blog post. You've created content for Google also. So most people are doing that anyway. I tell some of my clients, they spend so much time on Instagram with the stories and Facebook and Twitter. I tell them, you can kind of move around the budget a little bit. If it's a small business, move it around a little bit, and don't forget about Google. The thing with Google that's different than social media, in my experience, is that when you're on the search engine searching for something, you're looking to make a purchase, or you're looking to put together a decision. And if you have somebody else in the house that you need to pass things by, you're getting your thoughts together to be able to talk over dinner or whatever, and say, I found this whatever, this barber or this restaurant or whatever the case may be, and you're ready to pull the trigger on a purchase. When you're looking at social media, it's a little bit more of a branding campaign, because when I'm on Facebook, I'm not searching actively to purchase something. I'm there hanging out with my friends. I'm there, just kind of, it's social. It's in the name, social media. There are ways to obviously target on social media, but the intent is a little bit different with social media versus search engine.
Okay.
So we have to really look at that, because we're so often told that social media is the way to go, and we're missing the search engine
I
part
would
altogether.
never walk away from social media. I think Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, these are very powerful tools. So my thought is that, depending on the business, obviously, is to be sure that enough resources are allocated to SEO, Google Ads, etc. Because some companies, they put all their assets into social media. And so one of the things is, you don't want to walk away from social media, because Google is looking at your social media campaigns as a metric whether they're going to rank you or not. So you don't want to leave it and just go to Google. It's looking to see how often you post, whether your followings are shrinking or growing, at what rate, what's your engagement rate. If I have 100 followers on my social media and I get 0 likes, that's a bad thing. If I had 100 followers on social media last month, I have 97 this month, it's a bad thing. So it's watching and playing detective to see what you're doing. If you haven't posted in a year, things like that. So I would never say cut it out. I think that there's a way to incorporate everything, because you need everything.
Yeah, you
This
do.
is an education. This is definitely an
Yes.
education. And I'm hoping, as people listen to this, at the beginning of each segment that we do, we suggest that people grab hold of, a paper and pen and take notes. And this is definitely something to take notes on. If you have a small business, if you're thinking about going into and starting a small business, because most people, like you say, they sort of set it and forget it when it comes to their website, and they're
Exactly.
done. And in the meantime, they're missing valuable tools. Google is a tool. SEO is a tool, and it's a tool that Google recognizes, but Google also recognizes what's going on in your social media. So they're all interconnected.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly. So if people wanted your services, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, I have a company. It's called This Is My South Bay. The website is thisismysouthbay.com. I live in Los Angeles. There's a part of Los Angeles that is the South Bay part of Los Angeles. I've grown up there. I live there. I'm a big fan of the area. I'm a mild influencer in the area, and I show my company as a way that on social media, you don't need to have 1 million followers. You need to have followers that are geo-targeted, that are in your area, if it's a local business, for example. So a lot of times I've kind of gotten away from it with COVID, but I'm looking to get back into it as things are opening up here in LA. But a lot of times there were, let's say, a church fundraising event, or a small business that needed some light shine on it, or maybe a mayoral race or something in the city, and I would post about it on my social media. So I became kind of an instrument for the community. And you can use those practices on social media, whether you're a dry cleaning store, or whether you're a restaurant in town or something like that. You can be part of the community. It's not just on social media. I see it all the time, where it's just buy my product, buy my product, buy my product. And a lot of times you can become an asset where I get messages all the time on Instagram. There's about, I'm going to say, 1 million people that live in the South Bay area. And between my Facebook Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn, which is mostly geo-targeted, I have about 40,000 followers in the area. And so that's what you want to do on if you're a local business and you're looking for that local, if you're a real estate agent, you're not competing with somebody in China or somebody in Texas when you live in LA. You're competing with, 100 agents, 200 agents at the most that are in the area. So you can build your own community inside of the community of Facebook, Twitter, and these platforms. And so there's a way to geo-target it so that Google goes in there and sees your followers and sees, hey, this person is posting on a regular basis, and let me take a look. Oh, they happen to be in this neighborhood. This is what they do. Everything is kind of lined up so that there's no confusion as to what the business is doing.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And so if someone wants to get a hold of me, they could go to my website, thisismysouthbay.com. And there's a book now button. For 15 minutes. I will answer all the questions that they have on search engine optimization. We can take a look at their competitors and see how they're ranked, what they're doing, any strategies that I can be of service if they're trying something and they're frustrated. If they're doing things that they think are working well, we can kind of jump on a quick call on Zoom or on a phone call, whatever they like, and take it from there.
Wow.
Excellent.
We're definitely going to have you come back because this is so much to it. And I like the way you explain it. It's very simplistic. So anybody can wrap their head around it.
Yes, it's going back to what you were saying, though. I find that people, they have a business to run, and they have a family to set aside time for, and they have to take care of themselves, and they can't do everything all the time. And with digital marketing and search engine optimization in particular, Google rewards consistency. So I teach at a Search Engine Academy here in Los Angeles. And so the thing that I always say, and it sounds silly, but if you're going to have 365 dinners this year, if you have it all January 1st and nothing the rest of the year, it's just not possible. Something's off, something's going to break. And that applies to Google. If you are going to blog every day, 365 blogs, but you do it all January 1st and nothing the rest of the year, or suddenly you get all these reviews on Yelp and then nothing the rest of the year, etc., links and everything else, it doesn't work. It doesn't look organic. It doesn't feel organic.
Right.
And so Google is sitting back, playing detective, and just watching what you're doing. If you have a steady flow of things happening, it's more likely that you're going to rank for these keywords. There's nothing guaranteed, but this is kind of what Google is looking for. And it's a language. Like once you start to understand what upsets Google, what makes Google happy, and so on, then it kind of takes away the stress that people have. Because I have a lot of students that come in that are just upset because they've dealt with marketers from overseas, they've dealt with their neighbor's kid, or they've dealt with people that they know someone, and it just hasn't worked. And they come in, and we just talk about the language. They still may not have time to do it themselves. They're still not going to sit there and write a 1,000-word article every other day for their business. So they're going to need to hire a writer. There's still things that they're going to need to do, but at least they are in control, and they understand when they look at the reports, they know when things are good, when things are not good, and so on. And that's all you want, is you want to feel like there's a language here. I want to be able to read it. I don't necessarily want to do it from A to Z, and some people do, but it's good to kind of know what's happening, because otherwise marketers tell their clients anything, and it's believed or not.
Yes. So educate yourself
Exactly.
about what SEO is and what it does for your business. And that way, if you are talking, because I know it's a lot of marketers, especially when you get a new website, they are calling you up like they work for Google
Yes.
Oh, wow.
all the time. And, telling you they can get you on the front page and all this kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
that's true.
You can never guarantee what Google's going to do.
Mhm.
So always watch out for that. That is not, and I don't want to get into what they're doing to do some things, but in the end, you have to think about Google, where it's a fully functioning business. They have clients for all of the keywords that you're looking to rank for. So now you're going to go in and you're going to figure your way into that real estate, and it's going to take some time.
Mhm.
Google is not just going to turn over the keys to the car to you and say, okay, now you have, lawyer Los Angeles, go ahead. It's just not going to happen that way.
Right.
And so anybody that comes in that promises you or guarantees you and even puts it on, when I first started, I would have contracts where they would guarantee it on paper. And so that is generally, that is not how things work.
Right. And you've
That's
explained
awesome.
this so well.
Yes, because so many people, you just don't know, and that is big because people do believe. I have believed that if you had some association, and I mean loosely association with Google, you were on the mark. You're going to get it done. Life is going to be beautiful. So this was powerful. Thank you so much, Eric, for
Yes.
making it clear, for breaking it down,
Thank you.
so that we have an idea of, we could honestly take a look at what we're doing at our websites, at our level of consistency, the search engine words that we use, and the fact that maybe we don't know what search engine optimization is. And we need someone who specializes in this type of work to
Yes.
help us get to where we want to go. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much, Eric. And you will be back because we need to talk some more about this. There's so much to cover, and you made it so simple. I really appreciate how you explained it.
Thank you. This was a pleasure. This was fun.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you guys out there for stopping by and checking us out. We really, really appreciate you as well. And as always, we're always trying to bring you news and views that you can use.